Hello and welcome to my channel. It is March 15th, 2021, and we're going to be talking about some taxes. Everybody loves paying more taxes, right? You know, have the wealthy pay their fair share, which means that the middle class and the lower class have to pay more, right? When everyone pays their fair share, it seems like the rich never really have to pay. They always find some wiggle room. Not that I'm actually crapping on the rich. I think we definitely do need the rich because they definitely provide jobs and actual real opportunities. But however, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, is going to do the first major tax hike coming since 1993. President Joe Biden is planning to execute the first major tax hike in federal taxes in almost 30 years. Bloomberg reported Monday the increase would be used to help pay for the 1.9 trillion pandemic stimulus package called the American Rescue Plan, which Biden signed into law last Thursday. The plan increases reportedly include raising the corporate taxes from 21% to 28%. So expect increases when you go to your box stores and online. Increasing the income tax rate on people making over 400K per year. Expanding the estate tax. Paring back tax preferences on pass-through business such as limited liability companies and setting up higher capital gain taxes for individuals making at least $1 million. Well, I got a novel idea here. I know this is for hedge fund managers. I think we should make it illegal for them to actually collect fees off of people because they get like a certain percentage, whether or not the people make money or not. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it really takes a lot of money to make $1 million in the stock market. Yeah, I know there's people out there that do make $1 million, but in order to make an actual $1 million in the stock market, you would need at least, I don't know, 10, $12 million, unless you're just nickel and diming and slowly making $1 million per year. But even then, it's really hard to do, pretty much what I'm saying. The tax hike, the first such measure since Bill Clinton's overhaul 1993, will likely include repealing the former President Trump's 2017 tax law, which benefit corporations and wealthy individuals, Bloomberg reported, citing sources. This is really rich from a magazine which is owned from a billionaire. I mean, the hypocrisy and it's very asinine, let's put it that way, of Bloomberg to report such things. And also, the other thing is lower taxes in the corporations. Let's say if you're a manufacturing and you just happen to be a corporation, the less money that you have to pay in taxes means that more opportunities for you to hire people or not raise prices to keep up with inflation. The West Virginia Joe Manchin told The Hill January that repealing tax cuts while the pandemic continues to weigh on the economy would be ridiculous. Through his stance as eased a bit since then. He said last month that everything's open for discussion, which is really good. I mean, we should be discussing these things. Um, let's not make any haste decisions here. From 1979 to 2019, the wealthiest 1% share per tax income jumped up from 11% to 19%, according to the World Inequality Database maintained by Gabriel Suckman, or Zuckman, economist of the University of California, Berkeley, and other experts on inequality. Inequality is such a foolish word. Inequality, they're trying to get equality through a top down measurement. The only way you could actually fix the inequality if you bring everyone down, and they just don't agree with that. And the group's share of wealth, including real estate and stock portfolios, surged from roughly 23% to 35% in the same period. To further reduce inequality, Congress would need to increase taxation on the top end, the particular of the taxation of the wealth and capital income, Zuckman said. There's a real risk otherwise that the wealth concentration, which has surged over the last 4 decades, let's try the last 2 centuries, will keep rising in a post-COVID world. Yeah, it's kind of easy for them to say that since they pretty much shut everyone down. Mom and pop shops were not considered essential while big box stores were. Yeah, because I think the Waltons really was really bummed out by having no competition throughout this whole year. I mean, honestly, I think they were really bummed out that they were the only store in some of these towns that were able to remain open because they were considered essential. I just know that they're just heartbroken over that. Bloomberg reported that in addition to funding key initiatives, including providing more help for the poorer Americans, the planned tax changes would address what Democrats deem as inequalities in the tax system. Yeah, I think it's a inequality that I have to go purchase software or use a accounting software to file my taxes because the tax code, I think it's up to like 10,000 pages or some ridiculous large amount of pages that you need a software or an algorithm or even an accountant that knows the ins and outs to even file a tax return because I own stocks. Now, it's not a whole lot of stocks. It's definitely not $1 million per year stock. Let's put it that way. But I still need that help of software just to file my taxes. His whole outlook has been what the Americans believe that tax policies need to be fair, and he has viewed that all his policy options through that lens. Former Biden economist aide Sarah Bianchi told Bloomberg. That's why the focus is on addressing unequal treatment between work and wealth. The date for an announcement has not been set, Bloomberg reported, but the White House said that the plan would follow the signing of the coronavirus relief bill. The Associated Press contribute to this report. Oh, but good news here. The White House is expected to propose a suite of tax increases targeting the wealthy, mostly mirroring the Biden 2020 campaign proposal, according to the four people familiar with the decision and an independent analyst of those proposals by the Tax Foundation estimated that the top 3% of the taxpayers would see their after tax income reduced by around 11.3% in 2021, and the top 5% would see it shrink by 1.3%. Those in the 90th and 95th percentile will see their after tax income reduced by 0.02%. Biden has rejected an outright tax on the wealth as proposed by the progressive Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, but he has called for expanding the estate tax reach as well as taxing capital gains and dividends at an ordinary income rate of 39.6 for those making more than 1 million. Income tax rate would edge up to 39.6 from 37% for those making above $400,000, who would also face a 12.4% Social Security payroll tax. Wait a minute, those that would be making over $400,000 would have to pay Social Security payroll tax. I don't know if I could get behind that one, to be honest. For now, it appears that the middle class families would be spared a direct tax increase, said Andrew Silverman, a tax analyst for the Bloomberg Intelligence. But the Biden plan would raise the corporate tax from 21 to 28%, might have an effect on the middle class and lower income individuals. Raising the corporate tax has in many ways a broad economic impact, Silverman says. It doesn't distinguish between large and small corporations. Taxes on corporations might reduce the amount that they can contribute to mutual funds, pension fund holders, and employee stock plans, as well as how much they pay employees. The tax hike will likely include repealing portions of President Donald Trump's 2000 Democrats representing in New York and New Jersey also said pushing for Congress to repeal the $10,000 cap on state and local taxes or salt right out. The issue has divided Democrats because it would help high income taxpayers, though lawmakers representing the high tax states said middle class constituents have been harmed by the limits on the deduction. So yes, it looks like more taxes are on the way. Unfortunately, we're about almost 30 trillion in debt, so we have to raise taxes to pay that off. But the issue is we won't be paying off that debt. I don't think we'll ever make a dent into that debt unless we actually elect people that are concerned about our national security and our high debt. Leave a comment down below if you're going to be affected by these taxes, and of course your thoughts on that. Smash the like and subscribe button on all the platforms, but most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening,